Love y'all, boys. Love you. Love you. I go to war with every single one of you every game, all right? Love you, 1-7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Win.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 It's showtime.
Welcome to Friday Night Lights. I am your host, Mikey. The guy next to me, Tommy Talks Bills. What's going on, brother?
What is going on, Mikey? Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday, Bills Mafia. We are here. We are 1 week away from Buffalo Bills football officially starting, and I cannot wait, man. I am so interested to see this team on the field because it really is quite different. It is quite different than what we have seen over the last, 7 seasons? Yeah. And I'm interested to see the product on the field because though I'm confident because we have Josh Allen, right? I am very interested to see how this defense shapes out, this new look defense, and the receiving corp with Josh Allen, because we didn't really get to see that in preseason, unfortunately. Right. So we kind of honestly we're all hoping for the best, and we all, I think most of us think we're going to be okay. But man, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. Are we? Will we? Because I haven't seen much. I mean, I don't know. It's such a, it really is. It's I don't know, Mikey. Like I'm confident. I am, but. And I'll be honest with you. The reason why I'm so confident and still on our team is because we have Josh Allen.
Right?
If we didn't have Josh Allen, I would say, yeah, we're in trouble. so, anyways, that's my intro.
Well, let's start with this. Let's take a step back. Welcome back, brother. We missed you last Friday.
I know. I had to work, man. Money's tight lately. So hit us with the super chats. No, I'm joking, guys.
We had Jarek fill in for you, who was phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah, he
loved
was.
Jarek. Always enjoy that he's here. Glad to have you back. And before we jump into true Bills talk, let's go around the league.
Okay.
We'll start with the Brandon Ayuk story. Will they trade him? Will they? Won't they? What's going on? 49ers caved. 4 years, 120.
Yeah, that's breaking news.
Yep.
I have to get my little
breaking
sound
news
effect.
Yesterday.
Right.
4 years, 120 million.
That's a lot of money. It's getting paid.
That's a lot of money. 30 a year. He slots in behind Amon St. Brown.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
I mean, is he
good for him?
I think he's a good receiver. He's definitely like up there, but I don't know if he's really proven.
Is he a number one?
Because
he's on that loaded team. No one has any idea.
That is my big question mark when it comes to Brandon Ayuk. Like, did he really earn that money? Like I don't know,
his
man.
Price back in the day when he was next to Molds. And then he went to number one and got paid
in Atlanta and came back. Yeah. So that was a lesson learned. Right. But and that's happened all around the league. But mind you, though, 49ers stuck with him, right? Like at least purely. What is Brandon Ayuk's biggest season? Like what is
last year?
Like and what did he have? Do you know? I'm just curious because I didn't look. Yeah.
I pulled up.
Let's do it.
You know, why you're talking about? Because what's your issue? Is it that you think they've overpaid him based off of just the hype?
Off of what he's done so far for the team. Like,
so here's what he's done.
Yeah.
Since his rookie year, he went 60 for 748 and 5 touchdowns, 56 for 826 and 5 touchdowns, 78 for 1,015 and 8 touchdowns, and then last year 75 for 1,342 and 7 touchdowns.
Okay, so he's definitely improving. So let's say he gets let's say he's a 1,400-yard receiver this year. Okay. Yeah, I mean, what Diggs we paid? What was Diggs getting paid? Like, what was his high amount on it with us?
I think Diggs' new contract put him at like 2070 or 28 a year.
And what is he getting at guaranteed? About 30?
30.
About 30. Okay. Yeah. I you know what? 2 back-to-back 1,000. Yeah. I guess that's I guess I'll take that. I guess that's reasonable.
But that puts him up there with AJ Brown and Amon-Ra St. Brown and CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson and all those guys. Does Ayuk really belong in that category though?
See, I didn't know he had over 1,300 yards last season. So, going
last season, after last season, yeah.
But I mean, going on the stats though, as a young player, I mean, he's done nothing but get better each season. So
true.
If I'm the GM, I'm going, okay, or let's say he had a decent rookie year, then he fell off year 2, okay, year 3, bounce back year 4. I'd be like, all right, he's kind of right all over the place a little bit. I'm not sure, but the guy's on a steady climb up. He's young. I mean, like I guess I get it. I guess I get it because of his age, because of the production is continuing to go up. You have to I get it. You pay the guy, and honestly, the way contracts are going, that will wind up being, if he works out, like continues to do what he's doing, it'll wind up being cheap in a couple years. So,
Jesus, that's crazy. 30 million for a freaking receiver is nuts.
Yeah, that was unheard of years ago, by the way.
Yeah, like 4.
All right,
and then Miami gave Tyreek all that money, and it changed the game. Cole Michael comes in and says, how can they afford Debo and Brandon? Because they're paying Brock Purdy absolutely nothing.
Rookie, seventh round
rookie. Yeah, so basically at the end of going into next year, but they also don't have Trent Williams under contract right now. Like,
that's a big one.
Out.
Yeah, he's really good.
Next year they're not going to have the money. They're like going all in for this year because next year they're going to have to pay Purdy. And so, you're probably going to say bye-bye to, a bunch of those high-price guys that are there. Because they have Williams at the top of the market. They have Bosa at the top of the market. They have now they have this guy at the top of the market. Like Fred Warner's at the top of the market. Like at some point, you can't have everybody at the top of the market.
Right.
So.
Yep.
What's going on, Robert? So they don't have like any cap space. I think what they're doing is they're redoing contracts and pushing money down the line so they can go for it this year. Jason comes in and says, I bet the 49ers snag Gore off of our practice squad. I don't think so. We talked about this on Monday when we did our 53, and Gore is part of the 49ers. Gore Senior is part of the 49ers front office. They also have a stacked running back room, and I don't think Gore Senior wants Gore Junior as a part of that.
Yeah,
I think he wants, because he knows Bean only keeps the running backs for 4 years and then moves them on. McCaffrey signed there for another like 5 years. Like he's not going anywhere. Plus, they have a bunch of guys who they've drafted. So I don't think Gore's going anywhere. I think Gore Senior wants him here.
Yeah, I think Gore Senior understands and respects the coaching. McDermott, Bean.
He loved him here.
Yeah, and I think he understands he's going to get treated right here. And learn,
have a chance to develop, right?
Like learn a little bit more. And he'll get his opportunity. Like even if it's not here, You know what I mean? Like at least he'll be able to continue to get paid too on the practice squad and practice squad money. And you never know if he'll get called up due to injury. I mean, it happens all the time. So, and then I'll tell you what, if he's what we saw week 3 in preseason and he gets called up and he showcases that in a regular season game, then we may have something going there. You know what I mean? So you never know. This is the NFL. It's just how practice squad works. These guys get called up anytime. Look at Ty Johnson.
Yeah.
Ty Johnson was, just saying.
Got his chance and never let it go.
Got his chance and and wind up making the 53 the next year. I did when he got called. I like what I saw from Ty Johnson last year, but I was like, he's not gonna. We got the he's not gonna make the team. We got the veteran and Murray. We got Cook, and then look, he wound up coming and making some plays towards the middle of the season.
He ended up being the RB2 at the end of the season.
He did
and doing well for us.
Absolutely
did his job, and that's really all you can ask from a guy. So let's keep moving on with other people who got paid. Dicker the kicker in LA.
Nice. Okay.
He got agreed to a $22 million deal. Doesn't say for how long, but I imagine it's probably like a 3 or 4 year deal, $22 million. Another kicker got paid.
Who got paid? Tell us.
Yeah, no. That was Dicker.
Oh, another. I thought you had some more. A coach got paid. Hold on. All right. Who do we got?
Dolphins. Mike McDaniel got an extension.
Whoa.
2029.
Okay, so he's there a while. All right.
Him and Tua are now tied together.
Okay.
And then we'll take the turn for the bad stuff. People that got hurt. Joey Bosa broke his hand. Guy just can't seem to stay healthy there.
He can't, man.
They say he'll play week 1.
Okay.
He'll just play with it wrapped. Where's the other one? Ravens Andrews got in a car accident. It sounds like he's going to be okay. But, those you never know when you get in those car accidents.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would talk about Hollywood Brown with the Chiefs. He will not play week 1. They've already ruled him out.
They'll be all right. Chiefs.
And then let's go to the Dak situation. The one guy who can't get paid. Him and Jamar Chase. They just can't. Jamar Chase is
holding out. He's pissed. Yeah. Not that he's pissed, but he's standing his ground. That's for sure. Yeah. He understands where he's at as far as receivers go in the NFL.
Sat out his entire senior year at LSU because he didn't want to get hurt.
Well, and now Ayuk gets paid. So
yeah, he's like the difference was Ayuk was on the last year. Jamar has 2 more years, but he's like, dude, I'm not playing without getting paid. Because they haven't paid T either. They haven't paid anybody but Joe.
And he's holding out. Yeah, and we got a week to go before football starts. So, they better figure it out.
Yep. But that's our trip around the league.
Nice, man. Good job, Mike. I always like the trip around the league.
just some highlights that happened. So let's turn our attention back to the Buffalo Bills. And the Buffalo Bills have a 53-man roster. And they have a 17-man practice squad. Not a 16-man, a 17-man, as our guy Kinsley Jonathan was able to qualify for the international pathway.
Yes, good for him.
So what are we looking at here?
You want to run it? So here's the 53. I just figure obviously most of everyone on here knows the 53, but we'll just run through it on here. It's easier for us.
Yeah.
So
we'll say if we got the position right or wrong when I did my 53.
Exactly.
So
quarterbacks. 2. I mean, obviously, right? Josh Allen, Mitch Trubisky.
Got that one right.
Got that one right. There was no surprise there. Nope. Running backs 3. James Cook, Ray Davis, Ty Johnson. I think we were all in agreement on that.
I had 4 total because I had fullback Reggie Gilliam,
which is here.
Still the case. All right. So we nailed those 2.
So we nailed those. Wide receivers 5.
This
is interesting. I was wrong as well. I thought they were going to have 6. They kept 5. So here's the 5. You got Shakir, Samuel, Keon Coleman, Mac Hollins, and MVS, which we knew he was going to make the team, but I'll be honest with you, he doesn't deserve to make the 53. However, he's on a guarantee.
There's a few guys on this roster that didn't deserve to make the 53.
I agree. I agree. So that's that. If I could, I'll be honest with you. I almost would have rolled the dice more on Shavers than MVS, but they're going with the money and they're also going with the experience. So
The playoff experience.
Exactly, the playoff experience. So I guess I get it, but at the same time, it's like who worked better? Who? If you're going on Sean McDermott's, whole spiel about, the best man wins the job and all that crap, MVS did not win the job.
Shavers kind of disappointed he had a chance to lock up that last week, and he
didn't really. Yeah, but I mean the quarterback play. It's tough for these guys. I felt bad for those guys.
I mean, me too. But
you know what I mean.
We go back to what we were talking about. On Monday.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the 53, Shavers was the last, right around from 51 to 53, player 51 to 53.
Right.
It was Shavers, it was Joe Andreessen, and it was Collins were my 51 to 53. Those were my last guys on. So if they did something different, those were the guys that I thought would fall off. Obviously, with us not going with Shavers, we had to counter somewhere else for other special team stuff. And we'll get to that as we move through here. But definitely, these five, we have these five. Then we also have Kincaid who can, flex out. So. And then we brought back Shavers, Handler, and then another receiver, Virgil, that came from the Broncos on the practice squad that we can call up as needed.
Correct. All right. Tight ends 3.
Yeah.
I think we all knew this.
Yep.
Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, Quentin Morris. I think Quentin's actually hurt, though, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Everybody's practicing right now.
Okay. So he's back. All right. He was something with the shoulder or something. But yeah, he was hurt. But okay, that's good. Good news. Offensive line 9. All right, here we go. Deion Dawkins, David Edwards, Connor McGovern, Osiris Torrance, Spencer Brown. No surprise there. Ryan Van Denmark, SVG or SVP, however you want to call him. Alec Anderson and Tylen Grable. Any surprise there?
No. Actually, we talked about this on Monday. Those were the ones that I thought would make it, and then I had Collins as a possible, 10th if we decided to keep 10. Obviously, they decided to go heavy on the defensive side. Surprise, surprise. It's a Sean McDermott team. He always goes heavy on the defense and light on the offense. So we get what we get.
Can I do something real quick?
Sure.
The chat has gone relatively quiet. I want to do something. Wake up. You guys have been very quiet for the fact this is not like our chat. Not a lot going on. So I just wanted to wake you up with our air horn. All right. I don't know what's going on. Just making sure you guys are still with us.
I had to hear us.
Mikey, I had to go and check YouTube to see if we're still live, right?
Okay.
I'm like, just a double.
Jason says, hey, he's paying attention. Listen, we are so riveting. They don't have any comments yet.
Right. They're so caught up in our show. They're just like, man, just drawing in, man, Okay, cool. Just double checking. All right, so let's continue. All right. Let's go.
So the offensive line I thought was pretty spot on.
Okay, cool. All right, so next up, defensive line. We kept 10. All right, here we go. Gregory Rousseau, AJ Epinesa, Von Miller, Dwayne Smoot, Javon Solomon, Casey Toolhill. I don't get that one. Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, Austin Johnson, and Dwayne Carter. The one that stands out is Toolhill. I don't really get that one.
That goes back to what I was talking about a minute ago, where I was wondering, with us only keeping 5 receivers, where they're keeping that extra one. They brought in Toolhill to be that special teams guy. I don't get it. I saw nothing from him. I have no idea why he's on this team.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't think he even played. Like he was hurt.
I don't even recall seeing him on the field, I'll be honest with you. If he was non-impact. But yeah, so we kept 10. Next up, linebacker 6. Terrell Bernard, Dorian Williams. I'm just gonna say EU. All right. Nicholas Moreau, BS, which is BS, by the way, and Joe Andreessen. The one that sticks out there obviously is BS. Honestly, I get it, I guess, because our linebacker situation is so crazy right now that nobody could stay healthy. It seems like so. But I mean, neither can he. He might be the worst staying healthy, and he's probably one of the youngest on this list, except for Joe Andreessen. I don't get it, honestly. Like, I would have cut him. I definitely would have cut him or put him on a practice squad again.
It shouldn't surprise us. We always keep 6. We have a defensive-minded head coach. All extra practice, all extra roster spots goes to his defense. It has since he got here. This shouldn't surprise us. As much as it irritates the shit out of me, it shouldn't surprise me.
No, I know. I get it. It just, I mean, for me, it's like you couldn't find anyone out there on
they love him.
Waived. Right. And then that's the down that to me, like that's where teams' downfalls is on some of these players, keeping players.
We could have traded for a guy. The guy from the Rams that got traded, the linebacker who was a starter. We could have went and got him. But no.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's like they're like what I don't know. I've totally given up on him, and I liked him. That's the bad part. I liked him his first year and in the offseason, but he got hurt and he's been hurt. So, anyways, cornerbacks we kept 6: Rasul Douglas, Christian Benford, Teron Johnson, Kyer Elam, Brandon Codrington, and Jamarcus Ingram. Any surprise there?
Yeah, Codrington.
Me too. Yeah,
I thought that was gonna be Hardy. But Codrington's is a returner who fared better in preseason. So the Bills traded for him. They basically flipped 2026 6th for 2027 7th or 2026 7th. So they switched spots. So it is what it is.
I'm a little surprised.
It's a back end. I was a little disappointed. I think Codrington is a better returner.
Me too.
And Hardy's a better corner. We did get Hardy back on the practice squad, so at least that's a positive.
I'm just surprised because it's you want to be a pick. Like I'm surprised that they would go that route. Like I thought he was having a good offseason and good preseason, especially
he was having a great one from a defense.
Yeah,
but he had.
So I don't.
But it goes back to him catching the punt. Remember, we kept talking about how he was catching inside the 5.
Yeah, yeah.
German didn't like that.
Could have been his the reason why.
That's his downfall.
They didn't want to take a chance. They didn't want to risk it.
Nope.
All right. Next up, safeties 5. Taylor Rapp, DeMar Hamlin, Cam Lewis, Cole Bishop, Mike Edwards. Pretty much what I thought. What about you?
I agree. We did just sign a practice squad safety who I think is going to steal one of these jobs by mid to end of year.
And it could be DeMar. I mean, or Cam. It's going to be one of the two. I just feel like DeMar still just, I don't know, man. I like him, but then he gets hurt. Like he was doing good in practice and he hurt. Like I don't know. We'll see. But Cam Lewis is man, he's one of those guys, man. Like he's a fill-in. He's a good player to have, man, for like a guy depth. You know what I mean? Like I don't worry when Cam Lewis comes in. He's not great. He's not perfect or anything, but he's steady. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm okay with him for a game. You know what I'm saying? DeMar, I don't know yet, man. We'll see. I haven't seen. The thing is with DeMar, with me, Mikey, is I saw what he could do his rookie year. I liked it at times when he came in, but he also got smoked a few times when he came in. And then he got the thing in Cincinnati, and he really hasn't played but special teams, kind of. You know what I mean? So like, we don't know yet.
He's not going to play but special teams now. That's
what I'm saying. But I'm saying safety. Like if he had a feeling, like people were saying he might wind up starting. Remember when he was getting the, DeMar might be starting, but that quickly got erased. You see how quick that got erased, right? That's all. So all right. Next up, specialist Tyler Bass, which. We have no choice, guys. Sam Martin and Reed Ferguson. So,
Reed's the superstar of that group.
Yeah, he's the superstar. So that's that. That's the 53.
Tommy, this one's for you. Mr. Fulton, what's going on? He's going to be recognized as the athlete of the month for the Special Olympics. Congratulations.
Man. Congrats, buddy. Well, I wish you well, man. I hope you kick butt there, man.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, looking at the practice squad, was there anybody that you had on that got signed to the practice squad that you weren't excited about, or anybody that you are excited about?
Frank Gore, I would say, is probably my most excited because we were talking about this before we went live, actually. That I feel like Frank Gore is one of those guys where it's like when he eventually gets that opportunity, I feel like he's going to make it count. And I hope it's with us because I see the potential. I did. At week 3, when we first got him as a UDFA, I was like, oh, okay, we're just probably doing this as a favor for Frank, right? Frank Gore Sr.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I didn't, I'll be honest with you, I didn't follow him in college or anything. I didn't know much about him, but usually UDFAs don't work out. We all know this, right? It's not a surprise. You got to really bust your tail to make a 53 as a UDFA. But everything I heard in camp, even before week 3, was nothing but positive stuff. And then even week 1, when our running backs were terrible because our offensive line was putrid, Frank Gore was actually the best running back on the field that day. And then I said, well, and I still was like, he only ran for 3 yards a carry. But week 3 comes out, even week 2, week 3, offensive line played better, and he actually looked the best. He looked the best out of all the running backs on the field that day. Now, mind you, I get it. He's playing against the second to third team. I get that. I'm okay. I understand that. But I feel like this kid has the potential to be a good running back in the NFL, but he needs an opportunity. And I think it could come here. And I think that's why he came back to the practice squad, because Ty Johnson's not a given, guys. I know you guys like him. Some of you guys like him, but I'm not totally sold on Ty Johnson. I could definitely see Ty Johnson maybe not being what they expected or getting hurt and them calling up Frank Gore at one point, or even maybe one of the Ray Davis maybe goes down for a game or two, or even James Cook. He's going to get an opportunity at some point. I feel like he will get an opportunity, and I think he'll make it count. And if he makes it count, then the Bills have they have a situation there they got to take care of, because then you got to decide what you want to do there.
I think you're missing a big piece of the game.
Yeah, go for it.
We have not seen him pass block.
No, I get that, but I totally understand that, but we really haven't. That's what I'm saying. My point is, you got to make the opportunity count. So let's say if he does get that opportunity, then he needs to showcase his ability to be well-rounded, right?
Yeah,
because that's what James Cook. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, all the beat writers are saying that's the area of the game. It's the reason why he never got moved up past the third team, is he needs to work on his pass block.
So does James Cook, and he's terrible at it, and he continues to be terrible at it. And
James Cook also has more explosion than Frank Gore Jr.
He does, but my point is, if everyone listen, every player can get better at their craft if they work hard at it. But some players don't. Some players just aren't built that way. We don't know yet. Yeah, I heard the same about him as far as pass protection. But my point is this: if he gets in the game, if he gets an opportunity, maybe he showcases that better. Maybe he works on that during his time in the practice squad. But I just feel like he will showcase it. If it's not with us, he'll be with somebody else. He'll showcase it.
We'll see.
I feel like that kid's going to be something. I'm not saying he's going to be unbelievable, but I feel like he can help a team out.
I don't disagree with that. I think if they put him back as a true running back, and that's what they're asking him to do, is run the ball, he has a very good feel. Very Devin Singletary-ish type of runner. Isn't going to blow you away. You know what I mean?
Runs like his dad, kind of. I mean, I mean, if you really think about Frank Gore, like if you look at his track record, he's like has the third most yards, something crazy like that, 4th, 5th, something like that, all time, right? He's up there. He's top 5, right? But it's not that he was so dominant. It says he stayed healthy. He was consistent as a running back through every year, right? But he wasn't wowing anybody every year, but he was consistent with his numbers every single year, and he lasted forever. Frank
Frank
Sr.
Sr. was one of the best.
No, but I mean, he wasn't. No, if you look at his career in total, his numbers weren't always like unbelievable. He was good. He was good, but he wasn't the great. Like he wasn't no LT. He wasn't like LaDainian Tomlinson. You know what I mean? Like I think Frank Gore I think what was good about him is his longevity to stay healthy, and I think he was consistent. But I don't think he had a year that was like unbelievable, like multiple years that were great. I think he had like good 1,000 yards, right? But I don't think anything was like unbelievable. I could be wrong.
You are crazy.
Yeah, I could be wrong. But he was around for the league forever, Mikey.
He had 05, he had 608 and 14. Then he had 1,695.
Mm-hmm.
Then he had 1,102, 1,036,
Right.
1120, 1211, 1214, 1128, 1106. He had a 1,700 yard rushing season.
No, I know, but a lot. Yeah, but on the average, I would say throughout his career, what was his average per year? About 1,000 yards, right? How long was he in the NFL for? 17 seasons, 16. I mean, he was in the season. He was around for a while, bro.
17 seasons.
17 seasons.
But the last 5 seasons, he went the last 4 seasons, he went 961, 722, 599, and 653. But that was like age 34.
No, I get it. I get it.
37.
But I still think he averaged throughout his career about 1,100, which is good. I'm not saying that's bad. I never said he was bad. I just said I don't think he's like he wasn't. If you go and like look at the greats, like that were like had a short span, that 5-7 year run consistently, he wasn't getting 1,700 yards back to back to back to back to back. There's guys like, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't like Adrian Peterson for the first 5 years of his career. Like AP was getting, 2,000, 1,800, 1,700. I mean, consistently. I think Gore just stuck around long, bro. Long time.
I think you're underplaying his.
I don't. I'm not underplaying him at all. I think Frank Gore was good. I'm just telling you, longevity helped his yards.
AP went 1341, 1760, 13, 12, 9. Then he had the big 2000, but then he went 12, and then he went 75 because he got hurt. Then he went 14, then he went 72, 529.
Yeah, that was to the tail end.
1,042, 898, 604.
That's when he was done at the end. But that span though, there, the 2,000, 1,700, 1,400, 15, bro, that's a really. I mean, except for 1 year caught up in the middle there, those are great.
They're like 100 yards more than what Frank had.
I mean, even O.J. Simpson we talked about. O.J. Simpson had that 4 or 5 year run, and then he didn't last long in the NFL. He retired early, But no, I'm not saying. Listen, I'm from the U, man. I'm all about the U. Frank Gore's a Hall of Famer, bro.
That's why I'm surprising that you like.
Yeah.
I'm
not shitting on him. No, I'm not shitting on him all. All I'm saying is he wasn't like. I'm just saying he didn't have that short span where he was just dynamic. I thought he was. Really,
he was
really
never
good.
Dynamic, but he also had 2 ACL injuries in college.
Yeah, that
kind of zapped all his explosiveness.
I agree. But my point was, I guess he was consistent throughout his career, and that's not knocking him. That's consistent. He was probably averaged 1,000 yards per season.
He was
in his
top
whole career.
5. He was top 5.
How many yards did he have?
16,000.
16,000. So exactly my point. He averaged almost 1,000 yards per season. If you want to go on that route, right? Almost a little under, right? If you do the numbers, that's excellent, dude.
Yeah.
Right.
Considering he played into his late 30s, because most of them are done it by 32.
Absolutely. So no, I'm just saying he has. So if his son can even give that effort like he did, he'll be great. He'll be fine, bro. He'll be good. He'll be in the league for a while, bro.
You want to take this one?
Yeah. Why is McDermott still employed? He's an idiot coach and clams up when he needs to let loose. So we've gone over this. We've gone over this multiple times, bro. So I don't know if you've ever. I think I've seen you on our channel before. So If you know our channel, and if you don't, I'll tell you. I have my feelings about Sean McDermott, and so does Mikey. I think he's a good regular season coach. I think he's a good players coach. Like the players love him. I think he does a good job with when things aren't going well outside of Buffalo, meaning like off field issues, like when the Buffalo had the shooting and stuff like that. And like I feel like he's a good coach to build a team up. How about that? Like he's a good, like if you're a young team, you got young players, I feel like he can build the team up, get that team to a playoff push, but he can't. His problem is when he gets into the playoffs against better coach teams, against better coach, he clams up, he shells up, he makes a lot of rookie coach mistakes, which he's not a rookie coach. And that I think is what bothers me the most. It's like, dude, you're in what is he in now? Year 8, right? Okay. Dude, it's like, I'll let it pass for 3 years, 4 years even, but you can't keep making the same mistakes as a head coach time after time after time after time. Not only that, he's a defensive head coach, and our failures have been on the defensive side in the playoffs. So it's like, dude, like if he was an offensive head coach and our offense was failing in the playoffs, then I would say the same thing, right? So there's a problem there, and I just don't have faith in him as far as getting to the Super Bowl. I hope he does, and I hope I'm wrong, and I hope I eat crow. But I just, like I said, man, go back in every playoff loss. He's done some dumb shit, and he doesn't prepare well. I feel like some games, the Cincinnati game's a prime example. Like, how do you lose to a team that's banged up on the offensive line? How do you come in with that game plan on defense, even on defense? Like, there's so much, this. Mikey. The 13 seconds.
This.
Yes.
Schottenheimer vibes.
Very, dude.
Marvin Lewis vibes.
Marvin Lewis.
Except Marvin Lewis struggled getting past the first round. McDermott gets past the first round.
Absolutely. Yeah, McDermott got to the AFC Championship game. Yep. I mean, he did. I'm not going to listen. And that's one thing I tell you. I won't knock the guy and say he's a bad coach, because if your coach gets you to the team playoffs every year, almost, except for one, that's pretty good. I mean, I'll give him that. But pretty good, I'm done with pretty good. And I think most of us, Bills Mafia, is tired of just going, oh, at least we got there. We got to the playoffs. And I think Josh Allen is eventually going to feel the same. He's 28.
He's so loyal.
He'll be 30. He's loyal, but eventually, loyalty runs out. And I'll give you a prime example. We fired Ken Dorsey. He was very loyal to Ken. He was a good. He felt terrible, right? Mm-hmm. But he moved on. He sure loves Joe Brady now.
Well, he moved on because it was either him or Ken.
No, I get it, but I'm saying you move on. So if McDermott ever goes, yeah, I'm sure he'll feel bad. I'm sure he'll say exactly what he said when Ken got fired. Man, I wish I could have done more. And that's good. And I'm sure he'll feel bad. But trust me, new coach comes in. Let's say he's better, offensive minded, team's winning. He'll get over it real quick.
Only way I think McDermott goes is if A, Josh says something, or B,
that won't.
We start missing the playoffs.
That could happen.
That's the only way I see it happening.
So we said it here, and I said it multiple times, that Sean McDermott will be your head coach when the new stadium opens up.
You've said that since they announced it.
since they announced it. And I know a lot of you are like, no way. I'm telling you right now, he will be there. He will be running the team out of that new stadium, even if we miss the playoffs 2 years in a row. Like, I'm telling you right now, he will be the guy. And I'll tell you another reason why. I think the Bagulas are scared. I think they're scared of change. I think they've seen what he's brought, that Bean and McDermott, right, have brought, like, the fandom back, right? The excitement back in Buffalo, right? Look how terrible the Sabres are, right? They at least got one team that is consistently making it to the playoffs. And you got money, right? Now you got a new stadium, right? Sale tickets are going skyrocketing. You get a new coach, their worry is, oh, what if he's no good? What if we make a mistake and now he's worse and now we're missing the playoffs? We don't want to go. And then the coaching job search, I feel like they're nervous to make that move, right? They'd rather be happy with just getting to the playoffs than taking a chance with a new coach. That's how I see it. And I think some of Bill's Mafia, Mikey, feel that way too. And you know that. Right? Remember when we used to talk about McDermott, and there would be people like, "Oh, then we're going to go back to the drought years. We get rid of McDermott, we're back to the drought years." Why?
The reason why we were in the drought is because our front office sucked.
Absolutely.
Just because you get rid of McDermott doesn't mean you need to get rid of Bean. Bean's been really good.
Right? It doesn't mean you lose your franchise quarterback.
Right?
It doesn't mean It doesn't mean you lose Brandon Bean, who knows how to build a roster the right way. I mean, he makes some weird decisions here and there. Okay. He's not perfect, but he's a very good GM. But no, we would be just fine. And I would have a lot of faith in Brandon Bean to find a head coach to lead this team. Mm-hmm. Or, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So
Brandon Bean's very predictable in the draft. Everyone knows. I would say he's pretty predictable in the first round, but after the first round, it's a crapshoot with this guy.
I say no. I think not. I think Brandon Bean has been unpredictable.
You've been calling Keon Coleman from day one.
I have, but that's me. But how many people called it? How many people called Osiris Torrance? How many people called Dalton Kincaid?
Well, I'm saying, yeah, Dalton Kincaid was different. Everyone knew that they wanted,
Josh Allen.
Everyone knew they wanted Josh.
No, but some people thought maybe Josh Rosen. It wasn't 100%.
Other people wanted him, but everyone knew that Bean wanted Allen.
But they didn't understand. They didn't know he was going to have to trade up multiple. Like, dude, and Tremaine Edmonds. Like, I feel like he's done some unpredictable things in the draft. Like, for sure. Okay, let's say not Josh Allen. But I still think it was a crazy move for him to pull off, to get to that point, to get Allen. He made the right choice. Then to trade back up to get Edmonds, right? And then to trade up to get Dalton Kincaid. We didn't see that coming. I know you didn't. And I was kind of like, oh, why?
Yeah, that was the one that I didn't see coming. I knew we were going corner in the first round the year after. I knew this year we were going wide receiver is what wide receiver, so I think he's predictable on where he's going in the first rounds. In the back, rounds 2 through 7. I don't think he's very predictable. I also think he hits on the majority of it. He hits more on late guys than he does hit on those early guys.
I agree. I'm with you there. Like Ed Oliver, I think we all knew that he wanted Ed.
I don't think he wanted Thomas Jr. because he had a chance to go up and get him and he didn't do it.
Yeah.
I think he always wanted Keon.
I think Keon was the guy from day one. And I think he knew where other GMs valued Keon Coleman as a second round pick. And then he could get away with trading back and acquiring more draft picks. It was smart, strategic, if that's the route he was going to go from the beginning. And that's what it was. That's the truth. So let's see what Keon Coleman could do. Let's see if that's the right pick. I think it is. I'm the one that said that Bill should get him, but time will tell. We haven't even played week 1.
That's who Josh wanted. Josh wanted Keon.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh and Bean seem to be on the same page when it comes to those type of things. Scott comes in and says, hey, Tommy and Mikey, did you see the survey from the players that Josh Allen was the most overrated quarterback? Must have been Dolphins and Jets players who voted. You know what? This anonymous, things that keep coming out I think is just becoming more and more bullshit. I think it's just big media talking points at this point.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty much like that's, you damn well, right, Mikey? When Josh Allen read that, I almost could guarantee, like in his mind, he's going back to that. Okay. Right? Like him reading that is going, okay. All right, that's how you feel, huh?
Keep doubting him. I like Josh better when he's doubted, anyways.
So listen, that's That is the most ridiculous thing. Stop. Like I just when things like that like you got to laugh at that. Honestly, like that doesn't even bother me. It really doesn't, and I know it doesn't bother him because I always go by like, get rid of that guy. Where's your team today? Like whatever your quarterback, we're in a lot of shit like that. Let me tell you, Josh Allen is everything to this team. Pretty much everything. We lose Josh Allen, the team is, I'm sorry, is a 7-win team.
Not even.
You're right. 5, 6. You're right. Not this year. But let's say even our best year with Diggs and Brown, we're 6 wins at best, 7 maybe. He is everything. He dude sets records, right? Like
makes the offensive line look good.
It makes the offensive line look better than it is. Let's be real. And I like our offensive line now, but he still makes it look better. He's everything. Like you cannot. And it's funny when other fans talk trash. It's like, dude, if you had Josh Allen, you definitely would be speaking a totally different tune. You would be, so stop it. Shut up and enjoy one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL because that's what he is. I'm sorry. He's the second to me right now. He's the second best quarterback in the NFL, right behind Patrick Mahomes. And that's not being home. That's just the reality.
Yeah,
of it.
I just, I like that Josh came out and said something about being voted the #1 best trash talker. I'm not gonna lie, I do like that he came out and
trash talker.
And on the Shine show, he talked about, he's like, I don't care, that means I must be doing something right if they think they hate me that much. He's like, right. I think Josh is like, my biggest issue is I'm never invited to these anonymous surveys. I'd like to give my take. Send me the link.
Yep, absolutely.
It's all big media fodder. That's all it is.
It's a story for it's just a story. It's a story for them to go over. It's a talking clickbait kind of material for fans to talk about. It's actually really smart. It's actually brilliant that the NFL does these polls, does these type of things.
Content creation.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they get people talking. And what do they get people talking about? The NFL. It's real smart. It's brilliant, right?
And Josh
the NFL
Allen
top
is
100.
a
Brilliant.
lightning rod. Josh Allen's a lightning rod for that. Because they know Bills Mafia is going to come to defend him.
Absolutely. So NFL's brilliant. They know what they're doing, dude. They know what they're doing with this stuff. And yeah, like I said too, and I'm telling you right now, you heard it here. You heard it here first. That the thing they run, the Hard Knocks. I promise you, in time, every NFL team will have to do one every season. I promise you. That's where that's headed because it brings exposure to the NFL. Because look, it used to be just one team, 1 year.
Now it's 3.
Now it's 3. You got a off-season thing. You got a
in-season,
and then you got something else, right?
Like after dark or something like that.
Yeah. So, right. So I'm telling you now, just like they're doing with the international thing, they're going to do that. They want more exposure. I
don't think it's going to be Hard Knocks. I think it's going to be like the Embedded. You're going to see more of like what the Bills do for Embedded.
No, but it don't matter. I'm just saying the NFL will have a program like that where it will be for every NFL team will have to do it because it's money and the owners know it too. Think about it. It's money in their pockets. That all that is about money. The HBO, whoever's doing these, pay. Of course they do. And then sponsorship and all that viewership. Bro, trust me. Money, big money. NFL won't stop, and the owners know this. And I'll tell you what, that's how the players get paid too.
Yep. I just don't think they're going to call it Hard Knocks. I think the NFL is going to create their own thing. And
they may, but it's going to be regular. My point is, it will be every season. There will be a mandatory where one NFL team has to do it. The next year, somebody else has to do it. The next year, just like overseas, every team every year has to eventually go to wherever the hell they're sending you. You have no say. Look at I feel bad. Like Green Bay Friday night in Philly. Is it Green Bay and Philly?
Goes like every year.
Right. But I'm just saying to open the season, right? Thursday night, we all knew, right? And now you have to have a Friday game.
In Brazil.
Friday in Brazil. Like really? But that's about
like they weren't allowed to wear green, so they're going black.
I know. And they put them in a terrible area in Brazil too, which is weird.
Yeah, like what are you doing?
Yeah, I have no idea. But I feel bad, like, and I think it's a home game for Green Bay. So it's like, dude, like, that too. You're taking away a home game for that team, which sucks. So I hate that. But I mean, it is what it is. It's all about marketing and money.
Yeah. But going back, at the end of the day, it is. It is, But going back to the original thing when we were talking about, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Is where we started. It doesn't surprise me that they have these big, surveys. And it's funny. They're like 100 and something people were, and Josh Allen had 11 people vote for him as overrated out of the 100 and something. They make it out to be like, every one of the 103 people said he was the most overrated quarterback.
Yeah.
It is what it is,
Hold on real quick.
Yep. All right. So let's see what else we got going on here. Daniel Garrison says Bean drafts well, certainly not perfect. Finds good players even on day 3. Most armchair GMs would never have drafted Josh. No GM hits on every pick. I think my biggest issue with Brandon Bean's draft to this point is Boogie Basham over Creed Humphreys.
Absolutely.
That's my biggest one.
That may be his worst draft pick since being the GM here. I mean, now he's made some questionable ones. I'm not gonna lie. There's been some picks. I'm like, I don't.
What are you
get.
doing?
Yeah, what are you doing there? Like, doesn't like they're not
like
gonna.
Luke
I could tell you. They're yeah,
Why
like Luke. Exactly. Why? Like, well, that's total waste of a pick. No, like but whatever. You're not gonna hit on every pick. I get that, but boy, second round. Come on, you got to make it count. And going back to back edge when you just drafted one that
I would have been fine with, but get a different edge. Like Boogie Basham spent 6 years in college. He was already maxed out of what he was going to be.
I still didn't like it. It just didn't make sense at the time. I felt like
I didn't like it with the players that were on the board. I thought there's so many other places we could have gone there where we had an area.
I agree. No, I totally agree. I just didn't. That was a head scratcher. No doubt about it. That was a head scratcher. But yeah.
I disagree with you on this. I don't think Bean wanted Thomas Jr.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But that's fine. We can agree to disagree on this.
Brandon sucks. Oh boy. Hey man, listen, everyone's gonna have their opinion. No GM's perfect, by the way. Go around. Yeah. I always say this, man. I don't know what team you're. I don't know if Ivy, if you're Bills Mafia or you're just whatever.
Some people some Bills Mafia doesn't like them.
Yeah, but I will tell you this. To be fair, go around the NFL, right? Over the past, I don't know, 3 years, let's say. Look at every, just kind of look at every. Let's say even top 5, right? There are the first 5 rounds of every team. There's going to be a lot of teams that made a ton of mistakes or a ton of guys that are no longer on the team or are traded. No GM's perfect. There's a ton of mistakes. There's a ton of guys that you miss on.
I mean, let's take Kansas City, who seems to be like the gold standard, right?
Yeah.
They drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who didn't work out. They drafted Sky Moore, didn't work out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like they have a laundry list of guys that they drafted that didn't work out. They had a couple really good drafts that replenished their defense that has worked out. So it kind of changes the narrative.
Right. Now, but you got to give the good with the bad as well too. Like I feel like sometimes people overlook any of the good and go straight to the bad. Like, oh, I can't. But trust me, like Mikey said, they're even the best of the best make mistakes, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you know who I feel like has been doing good drafting wise. Like I feel like, and I'm sure they've made some mistakes, but like Detroit, I feel like the Lions lately have had some really good drafts. But I'm sure they've made some mistakes. I have to look, but they've had some good drafts. But nobody could say I don't think the Bills have a bad draft like every year. Like I what was the worst draft under Bean? What would you think? Worst draft year? If you had to pick one, just one.
Might be the year that we traded for Epinesa, or we traded for Diggs, and it was the Epinesa year.
Yeah.
That might be the worst.
Is that the one with Wild Goose and all that?
Yeah,
funky
Jack Anderson and a bunch of those guys. Yeah. I think we got Gabe Davis out of that draft.
We did.
And he was
good.
Gabe
was our 4th round, right?
Yeah, Gabe was our big one that we got. Because I think it was that year. What was that? 20. 2021?
Maybe. I think it
2020,
was
2021, something like that.
No. So it was 2020. It was 2019.
2020.
It was 2020 because we got Diggs in 2020.
Yeah.
So it was the 2020. It was a 2020 draft.
Yeah. I think that was the top to bottom. That was our worst one, I think. But overall, I think he does. I think he does a good job. He finds us day 3 guys. He hits usually, gets solid, solid starters on the offense.
Yeah.
Or solid starters in the early part of the drafts because he doesn't always go offense. He usually goes defense. But he hasn't found that game changer.
Yeah,
since Josh.
I agree with that. I think, and Tremaine, I'm going to give Tremaine credit too because Tremaine went and got paid. He's good. You got to give Edmonds credit. Edmonds was a good
starting
pick.
To come around,
and Ed Oliver too. You got to give Ed Oliver credit as well. And I think Dalton Kincaid might be on that list shortly as well. Okay, and Gregory Rousseau is still a question mark, but he could be. But where I think my biggest fault with Brandon B in the draft is he hoards them. He hoards them. He gets multiple picks, and most of these picks don't work out, or get cut or traded away, or they just stay on the roster too long, like Justin Shorter, who winded up being a waste. And by the way,
speaking of Justin Shorter, speaking of Justin Shorter, he's now a Raider
and a tight end. He got converted to tight end, so or at least they're trying to. So I wish him well. I do because I thought he could maybe do something here, maybe, but no, I was wrong.
Yeah. Are you a Miami Dolphins fan at this point? Because Greer has been ripped to shreds by his own fans.
Yeah, Greer's shaky, bro.
Not a good, and I am not sure he's well respected. People are like, "What does he have on the owner?"
Yeah,
he gets killed.
And let's be real. Drafting. Yeah, let's be real. I mean, he's made some good trades. I'll give him credit. Like he's improved. I thought the Waddle was a good pick. Right, Waddle was a good pick.
But he whiffed on like Jackson and
no, he's definitely
so many.
He's definitely whiffed. But to be fair, okay, like they still haven't won a playoff game since 2002.
Like, and he's been the GM forever.
Right. So how really great is that roster that he's building? It's fun. It's exciting. It's fast. But it hasn't produced anything. And I'm not saying the Buffalo Bills have, by the way. If you are a Dolphin fan, you're going to come at me with that next. However, we have won a playoff game since 2002. We have won 4 straight AFC East. We did beat you guys last year twice, especially after you guys were talking mad shit after beating Denver 70 to whatever. We've proven down the stretch in every season over the last 4 seasons at least that we are the better team. And you can look at your roster or the Dolphins. I don't know. Like I said, once again, you can look at the roster and go, man, that's a sexy roster. Woo, they're fast. Woo, look at all that. But they haven't got the job done.
Fast.
And you can't tell me
in sunshine.
And you can't tell me, you can't talk about injuries because we've had the worst luck. So I don't want to hear it. You can't tell me McDaniels is a better coach than McDermott. And I hate to say it, but McDermott has beaten him multiple times, and he doesn't have a dynamic offense like he does. Let's be real, right? We don't have the dynamic receivers. So I'm just saying, until you prove it, you can't really say he's built this great roster because they haven't done anything. That would be like me and Mikey saying, man, we have the best roster. Like, and we're not saying that. We're not saying that at all. We know what our team is capable of. We know we're a playoff team, but we're also realistic and saying about our coach, we don't think he can get to a Super Bowl. And that's honesty at its finest. But you got to be honest about your Dolphin team too. And I'm not saying you're Dolphin, and I have no idea who you are. But Dolphin fans, if you're watching this, you got to be honest when it comes to your team. And I think that's every fan base out there. And if you're not, then you're a homer. I hate to tell you that.
I don't want to talk about the Dolphins anymore.
That's every team.
Robert comes in and says there's a producer named Fink at ESPN that hates Josh and makes up these anonymous polls just for clickbait. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Fink. That's a great name,
though. Bean collects draft picks because they don't have much cap space. to be very active in free agency. Playoff teams need draft well. More picks equals more chances to get a good player. I don't disagree with that, TG, at all. But sometimes I wish he would stop wasting I think my biggest issue with Brandon Beane, let's be perfectly honest with it, is his inability to get his defensive line right. He puts so much money into that defensive line year over year, and he misses on the guys that he brings in. Yeah,
that, and I feel like, and I already said the hoarding the draft picks, and I also feel like he's very he doesn't take a lot of chances. He doesn't roll the dice much. And I feel like sometimes you have to pull the trigger on. He's a little gun shy, and I feel like, the best of whatever you do for a living, millionaires, billionaires, they've all take chances throughout their. You got to, and I feel like sometimes Brandon Beane is very hesitant. Like I feel like like I said that last week, he has a goal. Like he's focused. Like he just wants to do this the right way, this way, and he doesn't want to go off track. And sometimes you got to. Sometimes you have to do the thing you don't want to do to better the team.
He doesn't believe that.
He doesn't believe that. He wants to stay the course. I get it, because I get his reasoning, because he doesn't want this team to fall off and be and we're in, all over the cap like crazy, and now we're, having to get rid of the whole team and dismantle. I get that part, but I don't think anyone's saying that to him. But sometimes you have to roll the dice with a player or a trade or some of your picks you have to get rid of to get this player that will improve your team to get you to that next level. And I just feel like he's too he's also sold on his draft picks, I think, a little bit more than he should be. You know what I mean? Just saying. Like I really
this is the same conversation we've been having for 3 years.
Think about it. Like BS, right? BS that we've been talking about. Like, dude, come on, bro. He's not the guy. Like, it's. But I don't know
if it's so much Beane as it is McDermott.
Right. Yeah, but you notice they're quick to move on from Justin Shorter. But BS could stick around forever, right?
They're quick to move on. They're quick to move on from a lot of guys, but there's certain guys that they just refuse to give up on.
And most of those guys are on the defensive side of the ball.
Yes, because who's the head coach? Right. And Jason, you're right. Beane's not a poker player, and that's the big thing about him.
He is not. He's not at all.
I will give you that. Beane does roll the dice. He's a gunslinger. He's willing to pull the trigger. Greer does not have any qualms about pulling the trigger.
Yes, and I listen.
And I will give him that credit.
Absolutely. I will. Yes, I will give him that credit. He is not gun shy of taking chances, and some of those chances have worked out, no doubt about it. But once again, though, the end result has to show too. You know what I mean? Like you have to. And Tua, what did he say about Tua there at the end? He said something about. He
says it sets up for Tua.
Tua is the key, right? Tua is the key. I you know what? I agree with that. I do agree with that. I personally think Tua is a good quarterback. I fear that he won't last long in the NFL because he's suffered so many injuries. He's already thought about early retirement at such an early age. It's never good. And I don't know. I just feel like that contract, if you're a Dolphins fan, you got to be concerned. And I will say this too, in tight moments, close games, Tua has folded. He has folded under pressure. He's made some questionable decisions, turnovers. So that's something he has to work out as well. Just throwing that out there as well. But I think he's a good quarterback. I do. I think he's good. I think he has a good arm, good accuracy. And I think McDaniels helped him out a lot in that offense.
Yeah, he's highlighted his strengths. But I don't want to talk about the Dolphins. I don't care about the Dolphins. Sophia comes in and says, at least our O-line is capable and the backups could be starters. Beane's built that through the draft. I think Beane has done a really good job of building our offensive line over the last few years. They've started to put more emphasis on protecting Josh. Like in the early years, he didn't. Over the last few years, he's really rebuilt that offensive line, and I do agree with that.
Yeah, about time. I mean, it took way longer than it should have. Way longer than it should have.
Building it.
Yeah, like for me, dude. Like honestly, when you go back and think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did drop the ball year one of Josh in 2018.
Yep.
He admits with the quarterback. He totally fucked up by not having the right quarterbacks in place, right?
Because, or the offensive line.
Or that's where I was going. All right. First of all, he wasn't even supposed to start. Okay.
Yeah.
He was supposed to sit and just kind of soak it in, learn. And I would have been totally okay with that. Right. He probably would have winded up playing week 15 or something. But they didn't help him at all by the guys they brought in. Matter of fact, they traded the guy they thought would start, which is AJ McCarron. And then Nathan Peterman was a total joke, right? Which they should have known that from the year before. And then they didn't have an offensive line that year anyways. Then they didn't have one the next year. Then they didn't have one the following year. So like they did him no justice. That dude was running for his life out there. And he still is sometimes, but he's not as bad. The offensive line has definitely improved, gotten younger. We kept calling it. Like, dude, during those first 3 seasons, I would say, 4, it was nothing but aging guys. The only one that was not aging was Deion Dawkins. They kept trying to plug holes with guys that just weren't even right for that position. They kept doing musical chairs. They drafted Cody Ford. They didn't know where to put him.
Still doing it at left guard.
Yeah, still playing games at left guard, which they shouldn't be. I still think they made a mistake with that. I think they should have drafted a center last year, had him sit under Mitch, and kept McGovern there because McGovern and Deion were building chemistry together. I don't care if his natural position is at center because he was, dude, like you play pretty decent. I think he was our weakest link, but he still played pretty good. And if you would have had a center in place, we would not be talking about this today. We'd be like, oh, we'd be excited for the guy. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. We are. But the offensive line has improved. So I will give him credit. Younger and bigger as well, by the way. Bigger, more for, by the way, Spencer Brown has come around too. Like a lot of people were down on him. Right, Cybo. Yep.
And then now we have we did draft a center this year, so that'll be nice to see in a couple of years how he pans out.
Yeah.
But let's go back to what the original question was before we started taking questions in there. The one person I was excited most about on the practice squad, you said Frank Gore. Me, it's Seen, the safety, former first-round pick. Because safety is such an such a up in the air position right now. Like I have a feeling he has the relationship with Adai, who's our secondaries coach already from his Georgia days. So I'm excited to see what he turns out to be.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that was a good pickup. For Brandon Bean. So
it makes it better because we stole him from the Jets.
Right. I'm surprised they did a trade with us in division trade. Doesn't always happen that way.
No, he was supposed to go to the Jets, and then he changed his mind and came to Buffalo instead.
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking about the other guy we traded for, the kick returner.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that we did it. I'm surprised we did the
we don't normally do an interdivision. There's been a few of those. We saw the Eagles and the Commanders do that with Jan Dotson.
Yeah.
Comes in and says, why did Bean not make a move for Doomsday when he claimed they love him so much? Because you can't get into the top 5 when you're drafting that low. That's why.
And he wasn't going to trade up, bro.
Not that high. You're not going from late 20s into the top 10s without giving up like 3 or 4 first round picks. And that's not.
Hey man, it wasn't gonna. It wasn't a. I don't think he felt like it was such a drastic position like quarterback, where you would, you'd need. Let's say we didn't have Josh Allen, right? And like the year in 2018, where you're like, oh shit, we have to go up multiple spots to get a franchise quarterback. A receiver, I think that, like we said in the beginning, I think he was sold on Keon Coleman. He didn't want to trade up. He didn't feel like those guys were worth giving up that. Who knows how many picks he would have to give up. And he just wasn't going to roll the dice that way. That I don't mind. Like that part I'm cool with him not rolling it. Like that's to me is smart. You know what I mean? If it was a quarterback, we needed a quarterback. I get it. You roll the dice there. You have to. Right? If you need
I would have don't get me wrong. If Bean felt that he was worth 3 first-round picks to go up and get, I would have happily taken O'Doomsday.
But I don't think he saw it that way. I don't think he saw it as a, like the only guy I would be willing to do that would have been Marvin Harrison Jr.
And I wouldn't have. I think Odunze
No, I'm just
was
saying
the only
that's
one.
it. For
I
me,
think Odunze's gonna be the best of the three.
wow, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is the real deal. I do. But maybe we'll see. Listen, I will say this too. Time will tell. Right now, we're all just thinking like who's going to be good, who's going to be not. We have no idea.
That is incorrect. Odunze went number 9 overall. He did not slip out of 10, top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Where did Odunze land? Didn't he go number 9 to the
I thought he went 9. I could be wrong. You got to look.
Yeah. Because I know he went to the Chicago, and I thought Chicago had 9.
I don't know. You got to look it up. He could be right. Mikey's on top of it.
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Unless Chicago traded down. But I don't remember that.
That Bears.
Yeah. Yeah, he went number 9 to Chicago.
There you go. Hey, by the way, Shang Tu Shang, AFC East Shakedown. Since you're a Dolphin fan, we have an AFC East roundtable. We're starting. Well, we've been doing it, but next week we begin our AFC East roundtable show, AFC East Shakedown, at 4:00 next Saturday. So we have Patriots guys hosting. We got Jets guys and Dolphin fans. So I don't know if you know Curtis from Ace Per Head. Really good guy, good friend of mine. He covers the Dolphins, and he is on my show on the AFC Shakedown. So, yeah, if you want to tune into that, you can hear him talk about your team and the rest of the East. So, join us next weekend.
Going from 28 to 9 is going to cost you more than just one first-round pick.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Absolutely.
You have another piece you wanted to go through.
I did. All right, so guys, yeah, we're an hour. Woo, it went flying by, yo. Tonight went by flying. Anyways, every NFL team's most surprising roster cut, including the Bills. I have not looked at this, so I have no idea, and I honestly have not.
Who's the Bills' most interesting roster cut for you?
Well, I'm gonna say it's a great question. I'm gonna go Hardy because I thought he had a really good camp and good preseason, and I thought he did enough to earn that. I think that's the one that sticks out for me. But anyways, let's go through it because I have not looked through this list. Okay. I have no idea. Arizona Cardinals, Desmond Ridder.
That was surprising too.
That's the guy they drafted not too long ago.
No,
right?
that's the guy they traded for because Desmond Ridder.
Oh, that's right. But he's young, right? It was Atlanta I'm sorry, I got the teams mixed up.
Atlanta drafted him and then traded him. They got Kirk Cousins and then they cut him.
That's right, 2023 5th-round pick.
Yep.
For Ridder because they all had was 20. Wow. So, geez. Okay. Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Chris Blair. I don't even know who that is.
Don't know who that is.
Okay, but they got. I guess he was their surprise cut. Baltimore Ravens cornerback Demarion Williams. All right.
Baltimore always is loaded with corners, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's a good defense there.
You know what I mean?
Here we go.
We have a ton of corners.
They agree.
Daquan Hardy. Yep.
They agree. They agree.
He had a really good defensively. He had a really good camp and preseason. It was his return ability that was a little shaky, and that's what they wanted him for.
Yep. Panthers TJ Smith, defensive line. I'm not sure.
Don't know who that is.
Chicago Bears quarterback Brett Rippon. Mark Rippon's son, right? I think, or nephew.
I think nephew.
Nephew.
Does that really surprise somebody? I'm not sure. If that was their biggest surprise, that means their team was pretty good.
Yeah, pretty right. I agree. Right.
Jackson Carman was surprising because Jackson Carman was from Clemson, and he was supposed to be the young one that they were grooming. Yeah, I'm surprised with that. And former second-round pick. Yeah, and alignment too, which are tough to come by. And normally second-round picks get more of a chance. Yeah. Devonta Foreman. Yep. Does that surprise you? Yeah, doesn't that surprise you with the running backs that the Browns have? No, it doesn't surprise me either. I mean, from a name standpoint, yes. I think Devonta Foreman should be on somebody's roster. Did he get picked up? NFL running back. I have no idea. Okay, he will. He will. If he's healthy, somebody will grab him because he still could provide something for an offense. You know what,
in
Lindsay?
role.
That is a fantastic take. Ritter is so much like Rosen. He just cannot stay on a roster.
And he might have that throughout the career, his career.
Yeah.
You know,
Like he wasn't even a backup. They canned him for some rando there.
Cowboys, Carl Lawson.
That doesn't surprise me. He just after his injury, he just never got back to full health.
Yeah. Tim Patrick. I know a lot of Bills fans
he had
wanted him.
He's back-to-back years. Yeah, it was very much the Tremaine or the Trey White type.
Yep.
He had ACL and then Achilles back-to-back years, but he was really good. He also was making some money, so it doesn't surprise me that they cut him.
Yep. Did anybody pick him up yet?
Patrick, I think he went somewhere.
Hey, one of our old guys, Kyle Petco.
Okay.
I don't know if that's
it does surprise me for the fact of he's been on a lot of different NFL teams, and they're not deep at the defensive tackle spot.
Yeah. Green Bay, Anthony Johnson Jr., safety.
No.
Not sure who that is. Noah Brown. That's another guy that Bills Mafia wanted.
But does it surprise you? I don't know if it surprises me because they're so deep.
They are stacked at receiver right now.
Lions picked up Patrick. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, listen, like this will be a guy.
He went to Washington.
Did he wind up getting picked up? Because I was going to say this is a guy that
signed to their active roster in Washington.
I would have definitely been intrigued. You know,
it's somebody who we wanted in the offseason.
Yeah, but Ronnie Harmon. I'm sorry, Ronnie Harrison, safety.
Mm-hmm.
Got cut for the Colts safety. I'm surprised on that one a little bit. I thought he was pretty decent, but maybe not bad camp. Jaguars.
Okay. Go now. I saw Braswell. I'm like, wait, the rookie? But no.
Jaguars, Christian
corner.
Braswell.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who that is. Irv Smith Jr.
Yep, that's a former first-round pick that just cannot stay on a roster.
Yeah, and he may continue to not stay on rosters because maybe he's just not good enough. Raiders wide receiver Christian Wilkinson. Funny, same name as almost Wilkinson. Yeah. Very close.
Doesn't surprise me about Wilkinson because they have this little guy that's just is so fast. Tucker.
Yeah.
Trey Tucker.
Okay.
Like he took his job.
Remember him last year?
Cut.
I know, man.
Huh? That's a true surprising cut.
And he's the tall one, right? He's pretty tall, right? Like
it's not just me. They said it's head scratching. Because in Greg Rome's offense, you need good tight ends.
Yeah, I'm surprised with this one because I thought he was okay last year for them. Rams, Xavier Smith, wide receiver.
Okay.
All right. Dolphins, Eric. I don't even know who this is. Izuka
Mama. Yep.
Yeah, no idea. Vikings running back Keen Nogwanu. I don't know who that is. But Kevin Harris. That's I guess surprising, but they have a good running back over there, so they're just moving on. They got Stevenson.
Yeah.
Saints offensive lineman Kyle Hergel.
Not sure who that is.
Yeah. New York Giants fullback Jacob Johnson.
Should a fullback really be a surprise cut?
Right. Okay. Zach Kuntz. Interesting last name for the Jets tight end. I don't know who that is, but okay.
See, and I think if from a Jets standpoint, I think CJ, what's the other tight end? Uzama was more of a surprise cut than that guy.
Yeah. Eagles tight end EJ Jenkins. Not sure who that is. Steelers edge Kyron Johnson.
Yeah, he's a guy from a couple years ago that people thought was gonna be good. Elijah Mitchell to IR.
Yeah. So not necessarily cut, but he's on
that guy gets hurt a lot though.
Yes. Yep. Seahawks running back George Halani. I don't know who that is. Buccaneers
long snapper
Zach Trainer. I don't know why is that. I don't know why that's maybe he was there for a while. I'm not sure. Running back Hassan Haskins, Titans. Didn't he do okay last year at times? He had a couple decent games.
Yeah.
I wonder.
He's also a very young kid because that's the kid from Michigan.
Yeah, I remember having a couple
But
games last year.
it really doesn't surprise me because of who they have, the Titans. You know, with Pollard and Spears.
Yeah, Commanders edge KJ Henry.
Yeah, that guy has a ton of upside.
And that is it,
second round pick.
That's it. That's a list. So not really any shockers there.
No.
Yeah, I guess.
I think Tim Patrick was like the biggest name on there.
Yeah,
Lewis
Patrick,
Dean.
yeah.
Lewis Dean. It wasn't on cut day, but Lewis Dean was a big one. Former first round pick.
Yeah.
Who's now with the Bills. You know, he was a bit like when first round picks get cut, that's notable.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So all right. That was
all right, that's it.
Guess what, Tom? This is the last weekend of no football.
I know, man. I cannot wait, dude. So next week, man, football starts on Thursday, bro. I'll be at work working, but we get to watch Thursday, Friday, and then you got college football. By the way, college football started this week.
Did you see the Colorado game last night?
I did. I feel about so bad for that. I like Tyler Bass all over again. Wide right. But yeah, I felt bad for that kicker, man. Oh man, he should have made that. But yeah, man, football is back in general. College, NFL, but more importantly, Buffalo Bills football next week. Cannot wait. Yeah. And when are you starting? When are you guys going live for the fantasy football?
Tomorrow.
Okay, so
Fantasy Kingdom at 11 Pacific, 2 Eastern.
There we go. So 2 Eastern. Fantasy football with Mikey and Howie.
Yep.
So look for that if you're into fantasy football. AFC East Shakedown starts next Saturday at 4:00. And what else we got going on? Next week, Mafia Talk. Mafia Means Family podcast is back on Thursdays. Nice. So you'll see them next Thursday. And that's it. That's all we got. And we're on Monday.
Anymore.
No, he's getting bigger, but he'll still be Mini Mafia. And then we'll be back Monday, by the way, guys. So we'll be back Monday at 9:00. So me and Mikey will return Monday. This Monday coming up. And then obviously Monday and Friday is me and Mikey 9:00. Yeah. Don't miss us. And if you're new to the channel, even if you're a Dolphin fan, Jets fan, whatever you are, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you don't want to like, hit the thumbs down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than that, man.
Olivia comes and says Josh Allen is a movie in real time. Ain't that the truth? Remember they had the Michael Vick experience? There's kind of like a Josh Allen
absolutely. He's up there. He's up there.
So
all right, guys. So we're out of here, man. Bills Mafia, we love you. And as always, go Bills. We're out. Peace.
Go Bills.
Go Bills, man.
Huh?